This is questions 1, 3, 6, 8 and 12 in exercise 23.1 in Project Maths 2. We have to calculate the values of the letters representing the angles in each diagram. So look at question 1 first. We've got a triangle with an exterior angle marked as B degrees, and one of the angles inside the triangle is marked as A degrees. So we've got to use the information we've got to get A and B. Now, all three angles inside a right angle triangle should sum up to 180 degrees, which means A plus 74 plus 62 is going to be equal to 180, which means A plus 136 is equal to 180. So A is going to be equal to 180 minus 136. So A is going to be equal to 44 degrees. Now for B, there's two ways we can go about getting B. B plus 62, just along here, forms a straight angle, which means that B plus 62 is equal to 180. So B is equal to 180 minus 62. So B is going to be equal to 118 degrees. Now the other way we could get B, if we didn't immediately spot that, is that B is an exterior angle to this triangle, which means that B is equal to the sum of the two angles opposite it in the triangle, so A and 74. And since we already have a value for A, we can say that B is equal to 44 plus 74. Which is equal to 118 degrees. So there's two ways that we can go about getting B. We can either use the straight angle rule, or we can use the exterior angle to a triangle rule, like that. Alright, let's take a look at the next question. Look at question 3. Alright, in question 3 we've been given a right angle triangle and an equilateral triangle stuck together. And we've just got to get to measure the angles P and Q. In this particular diagram, any lines marked with dashes with the same amount of dashes have the same value. So for example, the two lines marked with a single dash line, they have the same value. And the three lines marked with a double dash line, they all have the same value. And from here we can just fill in angles that we know to start with. In an equilateral, if all the sides are the same, all the angles are the same. And since all the angles have to add up to 180, that means that each of the angles inside this triangle are going to be 60 degrees. And then within our right angle triangle here, we know we have a 90 degree angle down here, which means the other two angles have to also add up to 90, so that all three add up to 180. And since these lines indicate that the lines are equal, that means that the angle P up there is going to be the same value as this angle P down here. So that's just going to be 90 divided by 2. So in this case, we can say that P is equal to 45, like that. And then for Q, well, Q plus 60 plus P has to equal to 180. And since we have a value for P, we can say that Q plus 45 plus 60 is equal to 180. So that's going to be Q plus 105 is equal to 180. So Q is equal to 180 minus 105. So Q is equal to 75, like that. And that's how we would work out the value for P and Q in this one. Alright, let's move on to question 6. Alright, in question 6 we're given two parallel lines. That's what the arrows there indicate. We're given two triangles, one of which is isosceles. In other words, it has two sides of equal length. That's the lines that are not marked with two dashes there, you have equal length. We've got a 71 degrees, a 58 degrees, and then angles A, B, and C down the bottom. And we just got to fill in what we can fill in. We can start with A in this question. Since these two lines in this triangle with that A is in are of equal length, that means that the angles opposite them are as well. So this over here is also going to be A degrees. So A plus 58 is going to be equal to 180. So what we've got is A plus a plus 58 is equal to 180. So 2a is equal to, 2a is equal to 180 minus 58. So 2a is equal to 122. So a is equal to 122 over 2. So a is equal to 61. So we got our value for a. Now we can get b relatively quickly in this. What we have here is this diagonal line going between the two parallel lines has created a few angles in here that can be related to each other. So the angle marked with 71 degrees and the angle marked B are alternate angles and they are equal to each other. So we can straight away say that B is equal to 71 degrees, like that. And then for C, A plus B plus C has to equal to 180 degrees. And we've got values for A and B. So we can say that 61 plus 71 plus C is equal to 180, like that. Which means C is going to be equal to 180 minus 132. So C is going to be equal to 48 degrees, like that. So that's how we get the measure for C. Alright, let's check out the next one. Alright, in question 8. Okay, so this one's going to be a bit more complicated than the others because now we've got not just a letter, but a letter multiplied by a number. We've got to work this out. So the first one we can work out is we can actually get our value for x relatively quickly using the exterior angle rule. So 5x is going to be equal to 2x plus 72. So we can just write that out. So we're going to have 5x equals 2x plus 72, which means 5x minus 2x is going to be equal to 72. So 3x equals 72. X is going to be equal to 72 over 3. So x is going to be equal to 24. And then we can use the fact that this is a straight angle just down here and fill in our value for x, and we can get our value for y. So we can say for this one is that 5 times 24 plus 4y is equal to 180, which means 120 plus 4y equals 180. So 4y is equal to 180 minus 120. So 4y is equal to 60. Y equals 60 over 4. Y is equal to 15, like that. And that's we get the values for those ones. And then we'll look at one more for this. And that's this one here. Now this one is a little bit less obvious in how we're going to get our answers for this, because this diagram that we've been given in this one is not necessarily complete in order for us to get all the information we need to get this sorted. So if we imagine a line going along here like that, another parallel line, a line parallel to the two other parallel lines, this angle marked here, this angle, the first angle that I've marked, that's an alternate angle to 40 degrees at the top, so that's going to be equal to 40 degrees. And this second angle that I'm marking just here, that's an alternate angle to this 35 down here. So that means that x is going to be equal to 40 plus 35. So x is going to be equal to 75. And that is that.